I watched Backrooms last night and it made me realise something. People keep comparing these two films because they came from YouTube creators and they released around the same time. But I don't actually think they're trying to do the same thing. Hear me out. Why Obsession honestly really hit home? For me, it was all about the soundtrack. The soundtrack, I just immediately connected to. I love it. I think you can just listen to it and get really deep in your thoughts, and it really worked well in the film. And I think that's why that just like straight off the bat from the very get-go with Bed in the initial scene, which is insane for a horror. I would not expect a soundtrack from a horror to just hit so good. You can just get really deep into reflection with it, think about future, legacy, life direction. And genuinely, I really want to go and watch Obsession again in the cinema. Like, I think the only film ever that I've gone and watched twice, that I genuinely wanted to go and watch it twice, was Avatar. And the reason why I want to go see it again is because I can't stop thinking about it. It's just one of them films where you don't need to know anything about it going into it, but coming out of it, it's so multi-layered. It's unreal. I mean, I watched it like a couple of weeks ago now, and I'm still thinking about it regularly. Still putting on the soundtrack as well. So it just goes to show like how powerful a film can have. And look, I think the box numbers speak for themselves, right? But I did watch the Backrooms last night, and I'll be honest, I went into it pretty blind. I didn't know anything about the history. I think I might have seen a creepy picture online somewhere, but I didn't really know much about it, to be honest. And I went into that film with just no expectations, curious, but honestly just pretty clueless around what it was. But I will give it its credit. As soon as the film starts, it's eerie and you're locked in. And to be fair, I do want to just quote that the cinema when I went to see it, Obsession, was absolutely packed. When I went and saw Backrooms, it was dead. Like, there was like 7 of us in the room. So not a lot, but obviously for the people that were in there, we were locked in. And I was sitting there thinking, like, what is this place? Like, what is it? It is eerie, right? It reminded me of like when you've been in a car park, when you've had to go get your car and there's no other cars in there. And if it's a big enough car park and you can kind of see for a long while, it's uncomfortable. Like, you just want to quickly get in your car, you know? And I kept feeling like that when I was watching the Backrooms, you know, just turn around, just look. It was almost like a game. When you play a game, an eerie game, you want to turn around, you want to keep seeing like what's behind you, what's beside you, and when it's showing you the camera footage, I just kept thinking that the whole time I was watching it. But once you get past that initial phase in the film, it is a massive slow burn, but it does have really strong character development. Like, you do know quite a bit about these characters, I find, throughout the film, because it's introducing them in a really meaningful way. So it demands a lot of attention from you, I think, Backrooms. And there are some head-scratching moments where you might be thinking, I'm not really too sure why this is happening, or why is that? Or there might be things that are happening, and then later on you'll go, oh yeah, like... So because I knew absolutely nothing about the Backrooms going into it, I really, really wanted to research it. And I really felt that. I felt a strong urge to watch reviews and look at videos and stuff about the Backrooms and its history and what had gone on like almost immediately after, because I just knew nothing about it, and I wanted to know the lore behind it and, you know, its origins and stuff. So I think like the biggest difference between the two films, right, is Obsession is easy to follow. You could send your nan or your mum to go and watch it, and they're going to get the hang of the film in terms of what it's trying to do pretty quickly. They're going to be able to follow it, right? But I think Obsession could be one of them films where, if you're like me, it's hard to stop thinking about it. Whereas with Backrooms, I think it's harder to follow, but it does make you want to do more investigation if you're like the type of person that wants answers to things that you didn't necessarily understand in what you just watched. I do think that those are the main strengths and differences between the two films. I think Obsession really did a good job of being able to make you laugh but feel uneasy at the same time. Like, there's not many films that can genuinely make you laugh, and not laughing because you're like, this is fucking stupid, like, what am I laughing at? Like, this is pathetic. It's laughing because the moment is funny, cringy, but uneasy all at the same time. And honestly, at some points when I was in the film, I did actually have goosebumps when I was watching it. Not because I was cold, but because like it was just making me feel like an intense feeling. And I was laughing with the cinema as well, because there really were some funny moments, and everybody was engaged, right, in Obsession. Like, again, Backroom, smaller audience for me, unfortunately, in my cinema experience, but everybody was attentive. There wasn't anything in it that really made me laugh, I'll be honest. It demands a lot of your attention. for sure. And I definitely came out of it with some confusion afterwards, there's no doubt about that. But, you know, it's a different type of energy. You know, it's a character development, it's a slow burn. I wouldn't necessarily characterize them or compare them the same, yet there are horror elements for Obsession, 100%. I think with Backrooms, it's more eerie, it's more atmospheric, it's got more depth to the history behind it, and there's like a lot more to explore in terms of lore, I think, if I'm honest. But then I think there's also still an argument to say there's a lot of lore behind the One Wish Willow and Obsession, let's be honest. Like there's also a lot of open to interpretation. So I think for me, more lore driven with Backrooms, but definitely more interpretation with Obsession. As I said earlier, what would I recommend? I think Obsession's just easy to recommend to any old Smokey Joe. You know, like anyone's going to be able to go in there and watch it, and I think they're going to enjoy it. If they like those types of films, they'll come out of it and be pleasantly surprised. I think people are going to get it. I'll be really surprised if anyone didn't get it. And I think it's a great entry point into horror. Like if you know somebody that's not really big on jump scares, they don't like horror, they've dismissed it, I think Obsession would be a good place to start. Because it doesn't have those typical jump scares in it. There's actually quite a lot going on with the film. It really creates tension, good tension as well, which is impressive, right? Whereas Backrooms, I would say it is worth watching. Better if you enjoy mystery, better if you enjoy lore, and it's more demanding on your attention in the film. And I think if you have a knack to go and do some lore diving afterwards, then Backrooms is going to be for you. What's my final conclusion? I think that I would go and watch Obsession again, and probably again, to be honest, and I could watch it with multiple people and have enjoyment watching them enjoy it, and then just having someone to talk to about what their interpretation of is the One Wish Willow. Whereas I think Backrooms, I'd be more interested to find somebody that's actually really, really deep into the lore, so they can kind of teach me about the lore of the Backrooms and some of the things that it did and didn't do that people were expecting online versus, you know, what obviously it didn't film. To wrap that up, I think that's maybe why Obsession stayed with me. Backrooms made me want to understand the film, but Obsession made me want to understand myself. And for me, that's the difference.